Hey guys, everyone's day is going well. Right here, I've got the Bequest YoYo's Legacy. This is a new yo-yo from a relatively new company, and I'm super excited to be doing a review on this because this yo-yo is super sick. So without further ado, let's jump into the review. Alright, so as usual, I've got to give a quick shout out to the owner of Bequest YoYos for sending me this yo-yo for free. Super generous of him, and I really appreciate all of that. As usual, all of the links and information will be stored down below in the description, so be sure to hit those up if you're interested in buying these or interested in learning more about the company. As usual, just to get a little bit of a base as to what this yo-yo is like, I'm going to include the specs right here in the next clip. Be sure to take a close look at them because they are a little bit irregular since this is a pretty abnormal yo-yo. Alright, so let's talk about those specs first of all. As you can see, this yo is definitely super wide. I mean, just look at that shape right there. This is generally a very wide yo-yo. And honestly, I really like that it's so wide. It's really kind of like pushing the envelope in regards to like what a yo-yo can be, and I love the look of it. Now, probably one of the first things you notice is just how simplistic and cool this yo actually looks. I mean, like, look at this design. It is just so sleek. It's got that really nice solid gray color and just no engravings, nothing whatsoever. It's just a really sleek and kind of simplistic yo-yo. I'm loving the look of this thing. Taking a quick look at the shape of this yo-yo, it's got a really flared out H shape. So it's definitely, they got those squared out rims, which you really don't see too often in yo-yos. And it's just such a pronounced H shape. Like it perfectly matches up. And as you can see, the shape scoops so low towards those walls. Like those are some of the smallest walls I've seen on a yo-yo. They really just scoop inward like that, which is a really interesting feature. I mean, I really haven't seen many shapes that are like this, that are this pronounced and exaggerated, and I already just really like the design of this. I think it's a really cool shape, and I'd love to see more companies try things like this. And now, as for the cup, you can see it's this really smooth and simplistic bowl. Like, it's just really, like, there's hardly any cuts you can see in it. It's just a very like, smooth and sleek bowl in the very center there. So, in general, just like the appearance of this yo is really irregular. We already saw that the specs are pretty strange, but even the bowl and, like, the shape of this yo are just really interesting. So, I think it's super cool that Bequest YoYos is kind of pushing the boundaries of what a yo can really look like and how a yo is designed. So let's talk a little bit more about how this yo actually plays. Alright, so moving on to the feel of this yo is definitely a little bit more on the heavy side. And I mean, I think that just kind of comes from the way this yo was designed and the weight distribution and everything like that. But this generally just feels like a little bit on the heavy side, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. If you really like, a nice hefty yo-yo, this is going to be a great one for you. So in general, the play of this yo is honestly exceptional. I was really shocked with it because, like, normally yo-yos that have these like kind of just general bowls don't have the best weight distribution, but I think Bequest yo-yos really kind of like pulled it off with this yo. It really does feel super nice and solid on the string. It really spun for a really nice long time, and it also was very stable. I think that's because of those really nice thick kind of squared off rims. So in general, I'm a really big fan of how this yo-yo plays. One thing I did notice is that binds were a little bit slippy. It might be the product of having such low walls and such that like exaggerated shape kind of curved down. I'm not really sure why. It could be also the response pad, but I was just noticing some of my binds were just a little bit on the slippy, but there's a bunch of factors that play into that, so I'm not exactly sure why that is. Additionally, this yo also does have a really nice and fun feel to it. I mean, that weight distribution and just like the general design of this yo is pretty irregular, so as you would expect, this yo does have a really kind of interesting feel on the string. It's kind of hard to put into words how this yo actually feels, but it's really nice in general. Like, I'm a big fan of how this yo plays. With a wide and exaggerated shape like this, I mean, this yo is just too easy to land. Like any hops or slack tricks or whips, I mean, the gap is literally so wide that you can just easily hit any of those tricks. So it's a really nice yo if you want to play very consistently and hit your tricks quite a bit. Additionally, I do have to talk about grinds with this yo because they are just exceptional. I think the finger grinds with this yo are quite possibly one of the best I've ever tried. I mean, the shape is just so flared out and like there's just so little friction between your finger and the yo-yo itself. And so as you can see right there, since the walls are so low, it's just like when your finger is actually like doing the finger grind, it just looks so good and it actually spins forever. Additionally, all the other grinds are really like very nice. This yo has a really nice matte finish, and finger spins are actually super interesting. So we've got this giant bowl here that actually reminds me a lot of the Horizon. So with this yo, I think if you really try, you can get this yo to kind of be centered. I had a little bit of trouble with that. I'm just not the best at like doing those finger spins where you have to kind of like let your fingers hang super loose and like kind of let the yo rotate around it. I think it is possible to do that with this yo, but in general for me, the finger spins were still really good. My finger just kind of rotated around the bowl. But I think if you guys really try, you could get it to be centered in the middle. It's just gonna take a little bit more effort and practice. Alright, so in conclusion, this is a really solid yo-yo from a relatively new company that really impressed me. I think the design and the shape of this thing is just really, really interesting and very, very cool. And I really like how they're kind of like pushing the boundaries for what a good yo-yo can be designed like. Grinds are just like super, super good with this yo-yo. So if you're looking for a yo-yo that's gonna grind for a really nice long time, I mean, this is definitely gonna be a really great candidate for you. Once again, thank you Bequest Yo-Yos for sending me this yo-yo and for making this review entirely possible. Alright, so that's about it for my review of the Bequest Yo-Yo's Legacy. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to leave a like. And also if you guys are new here and haven't seen my videos before, hit that subscribe button. I post videos about every single week. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.